Alright, so today's video, starting off, we're opening the silage pit. This is our first cut silage, cut earlier this year at the very beginning, or at the end of May or early June, whatever date it was. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But we're going to open the pit. It's always an interesting time. You get to see what your silage is like for the coming winter, if you like. So yeah, all the first cut is in here. No second cut from this year in it. It might be a little bit of second cut in the back, and a bit of first cut from a couple of years ago. So yeah, we want to get this emptied out, this pit, this year. Hasn't been emptied completely in a number of years, and yeah, it'll make it'll be nice to have it all cleared out right the whole way to the back wall. We have some cattle inside. You can hear them bawling away there in the background, so they're looking for some feed. They're shouting, hurry up, get the grub out. So that's what we're going to do. We've been feeding them round bales over the last few weeks. We're not out of round bales from last year. We still have a few left over, but we don't want to just use them all up yet. We want to keep a few of them still, because we may need them for maybe on the out farm or that, but we'll see. Yeah, so first thing we want to do is have the folks in the teleporter. All these lorry tires, we're going to lift them all off, put them up on the wall where they go, and we'll then get a corner of this just pulled back, and we'll expose the silage and see what it's like. Hopefully it's nice stuff. Let's see. Alright, so we're all stripped back. Moment of truth. Let's get this toe back and we'll see what. Alright, so we've opened the pit, and here's what greeted me. So, needless to say, when I was pulling back the cover, it was a little worried when I seen that. Plenty of rot in it here. Once you go to this side, it's okay. Once you get on up the top, then it's okay. I think really all that has happened, there's two things that's happened. To leave this bad piece at the front, we always leave a pipe here for effluent along the side, and it sticks out because the effluent runs right down along here and goes into the pipe, just the way we have it set up, and then it goes into the tank. So that's that. But you always get a little bit of bad around here because the pipe sticks out onto the outside of the cover, it lets the air in, can cause a little bit of bad in this area. Not the end of the world, it's there every year, passing our mouths. This was a little bit in and out here, and I think what has happened is there's a pocket of air has got trapped here, or has been able, maybe the air from this pipe has been able to siphon up into this area, and it's caused that to go bad. Not the end of the world. It's probably in about, say it's in about a foot or 18 inches into it there, and in the worst end of it, but yeah, it's not too bad. Rest of it over this side seems okay, and like once you're actually up this side, lovely looking stuff, so it is. And the further down you go, the better it'll get. It's a lovely golden colour. The camera actually isn't really doing it justice there, because it's about 8:15 in the evening, so we're starting to get a little bit on the dark side, and it's just not showing its proper colour up. But yeah, overall it is a lovely golden colour once you get out of this bad area. So I'm going to have to just cut this out of it and be a bit more careful next year on the front of the pit and try and keep it straight. We don't usually have much waste on the pit, so I was really surprised when I started pulling the cover back and seeing that whole bad area on it. But not the end of the world. We'll cut it out, and it can go into the dung, and it can be spread on the ground for next year. But yeah, so pit is opened. Cattle are going to be glad to see it. Get the shear grab, let's cut this out of it. Alright, so it's a few days after we've opened the pit up. I cut out some blocks that evening initially, took away the little bit of bad that was there at the front, and very happy with how it is just in beyond those first few inches. Once the bad was taken away, no problem at all. Lovely silage. Cattle are going mad for it, which is always a good thing. You can just see here, there is a wee bit of the silage there as you turn it over. Lovely golden colour. Smells great, and the most important thing is the biggest test you can do is when you feed it to the cattle, see how they like it, and they're just going crazy for it. So lovely silage so far. We will get it tested a little later in the year and just see what it's like, but I think it's going to do well. We have been quite busy. We've been busting some grain. We're going to have a quick look at that now as well. Alright, so you've seen earlier in the week in one of the last videos there was a lot of wheat here tipped in the yard. That is all cleared up. It's now in here in the shed. We got all the wheat that we cut last week in and treated, and yeah, that's it, more or less done and dusted now for the winter. We urea treat our wheat. It raises the protein in it. I'm not going to say how we do it because I don't want anyone doing it and then blaming me if it goes wrong on you. So yeah, raises the protein. We do add water to it, so it does, once it goes in here, it will heat a little bit, but yeah, not too bad. Water is added to it, it's busted, and then you just leave it here then to ferment. So it will go a little bit darker in colour, and yeah, fantastic feed. The fact that it raises the protein on it is super. It just saves then on having to add certain other feeds then to the cattle's ration. Also helps with the rumen as well. The small bit of urea that goes in helps to keep acidiosis and stuff like that down, so it's very much beneficial, and we've been doing it for a number of years now, and yeah, we're going to continue to do it as well. There is a load of high moisture barley here. You can see it there. We're actually going to use away at it at the minute. We treated it as well, but we're going to use away at that as we're afraid just if you put it in here and don't just leave it let it sit, it might heat and it could go bad. There's too much moisture in it, but yeah, what we'll do is I'll probably push it in. Maybe I'll push it in here in the early next week. I'll let it sit then for a few days, and then I'll move it and put it into the other shed. But we are going to continue to use away at this with the cattle that's inside. So yeah, that's the wheat. Great to have it in, done and dusted. Just for anyone who is interested, it averaged I think around 3.2, 3.3 tonne to the acre, so not too bad considering the year that it's been, and it wasn't just suiting wheat just in this area. So yeah, happy enough with that. So yeah, alright, so a few questions asking me about these little guys, where they are or how they're getting on. So these are the calves we purchased in last springtime, reared on powdered milk, and yeah, doing very well. They've grown quite a bit. It's just a mix of lots of different breeds, including a couple of calves from our own Suckler herd. The cows ended up, a couple of the cows had poor milk, and they've since been fattened and been slaughtered, and we've replacements bought for them. But you can see these two here, the two Charlie Cross, they are from our own herd. So yeah, a little bit of a mixed batch. They're getting a couple of buckets of meal once a day, just barley, and doing very, very well. So just for anyone interested in them and wanted to know how they were getting on, they're all doing very well. And yeah, we have them in during the week. I'll give them another worm dose. A couple of them has got, you can see here, has ringworm, but they've been injected for a second time in 3 weeks with an ivermectin worm dose, so that should help to kill the ringworm as well. But yeah, that's them. Alright, so we're going to just a little look at some of the Suckler cows here as well. We're kind of in around, I'm checking some cows and calves, so I'll take you along and just show you them as we're doing it. This is a smaller batch of Suckler cows, so bit of a mix here. These are the ones that's running with our limousine bull, but there's a bit of a mix here. Some of these would have been some of the older cows, some are heifers that we've kept over the last 5-6 years, so nice mix of ages and different stock. Quite a difference here. These two here are actually, this here's about 4 years old. This is a heifer we kept out of our own herd, and this is actually, that's the mother-daughter set up there. This one here then is one of the oldest cows. She's about 12 years old, so she's quite agey at this stage, but still producing good calves and going in calf well, and everything okay with her. We don't, age isn't really a big thing. If they're still producing nice calves, still fertile, still good milk, we're quite happy to let them run on until something goes wrong, and then we'll decide then to cull them off when the time comes. But yeah, nice mix. There's another heifer here we've kept. It's about 7 years old now at this stage. And you see the calves here, nice mix of calves. Some of the Charlie, some of the Limousine Bull, and different ages too. You can see some of them would have been the last ones born, whereas there's some of them now, you can see them, they're probably about 6 weeks, 2 months older. They'd be around middle of the calving season. So yeah, nice batch, doing well. This is the Limousine Bull. He's a quiet enough guy. He's not sure what age he is. We purchased them in, I'd say he's about maybe around 8 years old, 8-9 years old. We purchased them in, he was on another farm, and back a few years ago when we had the bull issue, we had a couple of bulls that weren't performing as they should. We needed to buy a bull in, and we purchased him. He wasn't too dear, and we kept him on. He's lovely calves, and yeah, we didn't see the point in, he come at right enough money, we didn't see the point in swapping them and changing them. So yeah, small enough batch here. There's about 18 cows and calves here, and the bull. So yeah, that is the smaller batch. They're running on 12 acres here at the minute. They're running now about, I suppose, about a fortnight, and they'll get another week in it at least. We'll let it be let down fairly well, and we'll get them moved out of it, and hopefully get it slurried then, and get maybe one more grazing off it later in the year before they go in. So it's kind of the plan with them. But yeah, all going okay. We haven't got these scanned yet. They're due to be scanned. We're taking the ones on the out farm back home. I think we're doing that tomorrow, Saturday, so hopefully get them home and we'll get them scanned at some stage then next week. All of them, we'll get these scanned and the other ones scanned, see what's in calf and see how that's going. So yeah, we're a few weeks later than normal on the scanning, but it's not the end of the world. We'll see what's what when we get the scanning done. But yeah, that's the Suckler cows. Alright, so straight across from where the cows are grazing, there's a little laneway dividing it. We've got another field here, there's 26 bulls in it. So these bulls are, there's kind of a mix. Some of them are from our own Suckler herd from last year, born last year. Others are ones we purchased in last back end, would have been young stock, just to go with our own calves, if you like, or weanlings. And here they are, they're outside, they're grazing here close to home over the whole springtime and summer from they got outside, and they've done very well. They've grown quite a bit in that time, and they've been very settled, which is great. They're a really quiet batch of bulls. You can move these guys on your own, call them, they'll run out the gate. You can see them here, they're not one bit annoyed that I'm here. They don't pass any remarks to me whatsoever. But if I went to walk down the field and call them, they'll follow me right down to the bottom of the field, come out the gate and move to a new pasture or a new paddock. So yeah, nice to have a batch of bulls like that. So yeah, these are, as I say, these are from our own Suckler herd last year. So they're quite quiet. They know us. They've been here on the farm for all their life, and in turn the ones that we purchased in, luckily enough, were quite quiet too. But yeah, they're on the final move. Once they have this eaten down, which will be early next week, these guys are going inside, because it doesn't take much to set them off. And what I mean by that is that if it rains, starts raining, turns wet for a few days, these guys then, they get a bit unsettled, they'll start tearing at the ditches and they'll be pushing on gate posts, and there's bull wire electric fence right around this field, so they'll start knocking on the posts and scratching on the posts and fighting and digging holes in the ground. It all goes pear-shaped fairly quickly with them once the weather changes or anything like that happens. So as soon as this is eaten, they're going inside. They can get on to then a small, they'll just get on a small amount of meal, silage ration, just to kind of settle them. High protein, keep the growth going, and then probably around Christmas time get moved on to a full ration and get them finished then April next year, in around that time, I'd imagine. So some of them maybe a bit before that, but that's what we'll be aiming for. So we want to keep them growing over the next 4 months, and then push them then once it comes around Christmas time. So that's the plan with them. But yeah, lovely batch of bulls, great that they're a nice quiet batch, and yeah, be nice to get them. It's always nice to have them outside, but nice to get them inside too. What that also does then as well is we can then slurry this here along with where the cows is, and the cows then can graze this again a little bit later on, and it just allows us then to keep the cows and calves outside for as long as possible, you know. So the cows still hoover up a lot of grass. The grass growth now is gone more or less. Not that it's still growing well enough at the minute, but over the next few weeks it'll all well slow down. So we want it to grow as much as it can, to have a bit of a bank of grass to keep the cows outside as long as we can. So it's kind of what we aim for. Doesn't always work out that way. We're trying for that anyway. So yeah, that's the bulls.